broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another after show
You
for
know, it always starts there.
NXT. I'm talking to that camera now. Well, everyone listens to us. I mean,
Nobody watches us. Nobody's watching.
anyways,
It
we
don't
are
matter.
doing an after show for
None of this
NXT
matters.
right here on AfterBuzz TV or on the podcasts if you're listening.
Yeah, thank you, iTunes users.
Guess what?
What?
I'm back.
You surprised me
Yeah.
when you said
Were
that.
you able to take in any Japanese wrestling?
Are you a member of the Bullet Club?
How was the Orient?
I'm Kathy Kelly, and joining me, as always,
All right.
Mark Donegan.
Hi, Kevin Kell. Welcome back. It's good seeing you back. In case you missed it, she was on Raw.
Yeah.
Surprise! I spoiled it, even though it was after.
They didn't know.
No, they didn't. It was
They
great.
had no idea.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't think you were coming.
Yeah.
You
I didn't
preferred
think I
The
was
Bachelor over
No,
Raw.
I was filming a commercial, and
that's
I
what
did
it
not
was.
get out until 7:30 p.m., so I had no time to watch.
Well, now we're
unfortunately.
here.
Yes.
Doing NXT.
Yes.
And if you want to follow along, you can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. But tonight, if you use the hashtag ABTVNXT, I'm going to be responding live during the show on The Gimmick Pod, which is the podcast that I've been doing with my friend Brandon.
Yeah.
And just as a way, we're going to be recording tonight. And yeah. No, he's not a fan of Brandon. So
I mean, he's okay.
yeah, he's all right.
not
They're getting
anywhere
along.
near as
Looks
entertaining
similar.
or talented as me, but he is not. He's not even close
Tell
to
us how
the
you really feel.
caliber of individual that I am. And you can follow me at True Hobo.
Yes.
That is the kind of caliber of individual I am.
Can I tell you a funny story about Japan?
Please.
No.
Okay. I really wanted to tell this on the Bachelor show Monday night, but I felt like it wasn't appropriate. So
But it's appropriate.
Stories.
Excellent.
maybe I shouldn't tell it.
No, please,
Okay.
come on. Why not?
So I learned a lot of stuff in Japan, just like phrases and whatever else. I don't know. I talked to a lot of locals, and they have interesting pronunciations for some things. But I feel like everyone in Japan is so much smarter than people in America because they all know multiple languages. Like they're taught English in high school. Everyone there could converse at least somewhat, but there were cars driving around that were blasting commercials, and this is something that I wasn't used to. And so I asked one of the locals, I was like, what are they talking about? And she's like, oh, well, there's an erection tomorrow. I was like, there's a what?
Oh, really?
It's for the erection
The
in
erection.
Okinawa. And they were talking about the election.
There's going to be an erection in Japan. We're making news. AfterBuzz exclusive. An erection in Japan.
Yeah.
In Okinawa, of all places. That's good.
Yeah.
That's,
I don't know who won.
I imagine there's a lot of fishing there. I imagine it was salty. That's what I imagine.
Speaking of who won and
Speaking
lost,
of salty,
I took it a step too far.
I'm bummed that I
Noted.
missed the after show for Rival.
so were we. It was a hell of a show to talk about. So on the top of the show, just give us like a quick thing of what you thought of the show.
It was great.
All right, moving on to tonight's show.
Yes, we start off tonight's show with William Regal. He says Kevin Owens won the championship at NXT TakeOver Rival because... Are you tired?
No, I was just laughing at something that I could not possibly say right now.
All right, okay.
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 Kevin Owens won because the ref stopped the match, and he says that Owens is a prize fighter, but he doesn't make the rules. He does. So, what are you... You're like all over the place.
Am I freaking out right now?
No,
I swear to God, I hear music.
This is a functioning studio.
We have multiple shows going on at the same time. This is not new.
We finally start talking about the damn show, and you go off topic.
Whatever, prize fighter, I'm following along.
Okay.
I was there, I watched it.
So, the main event tonight will be Neville versus Owens,
Awesome.
as Regal announces. Yes.
Which is it's pretty interesting. I think it's kind of almost weird that you put not the number one contender in a non-title match with the champion. I mean, granted, it kind of makes sense, but like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the implication is that this is not the number one contender. You are not going to be the number one contender, even if you beat the champion, current champion. Kind of like, why? I get the grudge match, but all the same, it doesn't jive with my brain.
Well, I figure they want to put, Regal needed to prove a point, and from a story perspective, Neville was the most makes sense, because you want to tease Balor and Owens for as long as you can. You got to build that up.
And does Zayn get a rematch?
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
She's back from
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Perfect. And I know that he was back on the second set of tapings that they did.
Okay.
So we'll see him again.
Okay.
In like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make more sense for Zayn's rematch to happen before Finn Balor faces Owens,
Not
right?
necessarily. Because
if Finn
if it's in your contract, as long as you have that in the as long as that's in the contract, there's never been a stated like fulfillment. We're just so used to it being the next night or the next pay-per-view or
well, with how
whatever.
they've run these shows, yeah, it's generally like, well, there's a special, and now we will have a gaggle of rematches.
Yeah. To sort of sell and see, though it's kind of like a what if of how the matches could have gone in different perspectives. But it's I like not being right away brings the build back up. Like I was talking to somebody in the comments who was like, what a waste of a title run with Sami Zayn. I was like, are you kidding? A man who chases this title for years, his best friend / former best friend comes in, beats him up, and within 2 months takes the title from him. How mad? Like, we saw Sami Zayn angry. How mad do you think that guy's going to be when he comes back, and how hard do you think that chase is going to be? He's like, you know what? I didn't think about it that way.
It's heartbreaking. The whole story's heartbreaking. He works so hard to get it, and he loses it that fast. The entire crowd should be tearing Owens apart verbally.
But they're not.
It bothers the crap out of me. How you cheer for this guy? But then at the same time, I totally understand why they're cheering for him. He's a guy with obvious principles, family ties. He's fighting for his family. How could you boo him? It's hard, man. It's that conflict.
It's just picking sides. So next, Owens. Speaking of Owens, he comes out and says Sami Zayn is the past, and he's looking towards the future, which is Finn Balor.
Are you familiar with Finn Balor?
Who?
Okay. Yeah, you'll see him.
Okay.
He shows up later in the show.
Okay.
I think you'd like him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's fairly talented. Has a funny accent.
Scottish?
Like, maybe.
Probably.
Maybe like Welsh.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Balor. Yeah, that sounds Welsh.
Is he the one in makeup,
Yes.
usually?
Yeah.
No, that's Tyler Breeze.
Hairbrush. Zing. I get it. Actually, I like this whole promo.
Yeah, me too.
Give it a little more depth, insight into the minds of Owens. He's a hero in his own mind. He does absolutely the right thing, would not change a step in the game that he's been playing, and is 100% factual in that he never misled anybody.
Yeah.
He never lied to anybody.
Absolutely right.
Except for maybe just before he powerbombed Sami Zayn into almost a concussed state. Just before that. But after that, no, he's been on the up and up 100% all the way, yeah. Oh, great guy.
I do have to say, his Twitter is like one of the like cutest, and then you go, oh, but then you think about the story and it's bad. Like, new champion, and he put his belt with his daughter, who's like under a year old, and it's adorable, but you're like, you're a jerk. What a jerk.
I want to hate you, but I can't.
Yeah, you can't. When he's like retweeting people, drawing him as like in a Wreck-It Ralph style, and you're like, that's awesome. Still a jerk.
Yeah.
Like,
You kind of murdered a man doing that. You didn't even pin him. Like, you just kept bombing him over and over until he couldn't get up anymore. You didn't even win. You just, well, sure.
I mean, he did win.
Kids are looking at him. He won, but he didn't win. He didn't pin him. And that's the whole argument. Everybody's saying,
I
he
know.
didn't pin him. He didn't submit. He didn't pin him. Why does he have the belt? Because the doctor stopped it, and I guess there's a small underwriting there.
KO is just as...
But he wasn't knocked out even.
Yeah.
I mean, they stopped the match. Not at any point did Sami Zayn say, whoa, hey, everybody, I can't do this anymore.
Well, that's why he
he
can
was
come back and
knocked out.
argue it.
Yeah.
Because
that makes the case even more... So you have to
stronger.
have a decisive victory means that you can get a stipulation in there, which is what I think. Something that has to be a pinfall or submission.
I think Sami Zayn should come back and beat the tar out of the doctor. That's truly, yeah.
that looked very similar to him.
Yeah.
Kind of, red hair,
They're
beard,
cousins.
gimmick. Yep.
I liked that the backstage thing. It was very it was nice and real, and because people knew, you can't ignore that the next day he flew to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that. So it was no, we tested him and he was okay and cleared, and he's been calling me the past couple of days, and it's been, it was very general but also very informative and very real.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped legitimize the whole thing a little bit more. It was cool.
Depth.
Yeah.
It's nice when it's written so that it makes sense.
What does that mean?
Wow.
Oh no, he doesn't do that anymore.
Oh yeah, maybe we should have mentioned that at the top of the show.
Oh, we'll do that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
The bull.
Oh.
There's a couple of news and rumors things we won't need the music for, but yeah, at the end of the show, if we ever get there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about
Let us show Crowe's you through.
this first match. Very surprising. Rhino.
You ever seen Rhino before? It's okay to say no.
Yeah.
We already know it's a no. I just want to know what your first impressions were.
I was like, whoa, the people really like him.
The crowd
You're absolutely
literally pooed themselves. looking at everybody's face, was just like,
That was a well-kept surprise.
what?
There was one guy who literally lost his mind on the island.
It was, very surprising, very welcoming. And after the show, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but after the show, Regal said, we see people from the main roster coming to NXT to kickstart their careers and start their careers, and now we're starting to see that influence go wider into people who...
It's reviving your career.
Yes, it's reviving your career, and it's entirely true.
Yeah.
And he looked great. He's always been a tank, and he looks a little bit more direct.
For people at home who might not know who he is, he was on ECW.
Former original ECW World Heavyweight Champion. He was a hardcore champion. He might have been a tag team champion.
I want to say tag team champion. I remember him with, I think it was Tajiri.
Tajiri or Spike or another ECW original.
And then most recently in TNA.
He was in TNA.
Yeah.
He actually did a really controversial promo where he burned the original ECW belt, which was right when he got there.
Yeah.
And new ECW was around, and everybody was kind of like either side of the fence. It was still kind of disrespectful, but at the same time, it was a really good promo.
New ECW was 9 years ago.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Ezekiel Jackson, I still believe.
I think I'm wrestling him soon, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Weird.
That's bizarre. Who did he fight?
Who? Rhino Samson.
Elias Samson.
That's what I said
his
at the
name.
top of the show.
Yes.
You guys didn't listen to me.
I'm sorry, who are you? You haven't been here for 2 weeks, okay?
You said it with a Japanese accent. I didn't understand what you were saying
I said Elias Samson.
Yes, I would like some.
And
What?
Is that a new Girl Scout cookie? It is the season. I don't know.
It's like the Samoans.
Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they're finally taking credit card.
What, do they have like a square and you just swipe the thing and you're like, sign here?
But you can buy them online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you? I thought you
Cut out the middleman.
Speaking of cutting out the middleman, almost cut out Elias Sampson's midsection with a gore.
Samson tried his best to get a little offense in there.
That was good.
Belly
Awesome.
to belly, whoa,
Yeah.
and then gore.
Yeah.
Always looks good.
The man beast.
Man beast. Like a refrigerator.
Scott Murren, using the hashtag ABTVNXT, which I told you I'm checking, just got the update. I had Rhino's return spoiled for me on Instagram by Devin Taylor.
What?
Someone's still a little bitter about losing the Bachelor.
Spoiler alert.
Devin Taylor.
Devin Taylor. Maybe the Bachelorette?
No.
Nope. All right.
No.
Awesome display by Rhino, and now more so than on the main roster, I feel like anything can happen on NXT.
Yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. He was enthusiastic. He was absolutely juiced, and I think that whole arena was just giving him the power that he needed, man. He just looked like he was ready to explode. It was great.
Yeah.
Somebody that excited, who's been around for years and years and seen a whole lot of crap, he was this excited to be here. Man, it means a lot. It really does.
10 years since he was in a WWE ring.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just before the new ECW showed up. And then him backstage with Balor.
Oh, yeah. Well, should we get into that?
Yeah, I'm trying to transition.
All over this show.
So that...
Because we're having fun,
Yeah.
but we can only have fun for a certain amount of time.
Okay, so... Now that you're engineering here, I feel like you understand what moving along a show means. Yeah. So I appreciate it very much. Devin Taylor interviews Finn Balor backstage. He says after the destruction he caused at TakeOver, he's referring to Kevin Owens, of course. He's sure that Kevin has a high opinion of himself, but he says that he'll face him anytime, anywhere. And then Rhino appears. And Rhino leaves.
It was a smirk like, oh, he's cute. Like, it was so it looks, hopefully that means that we'll see these two cross paths.
Okay.
Which would be amazing. That's one of those matches that you never think about.
No.
But then when you do, you're like, that would be really good.
It would be an interesting matchup.
So still, please, in case that does happen, no spoilers, just so that we can be surprised.
What do you think this means? Do you think that Rhino is back in a more permanent thing, or do you think that it's somewhat similar to what the guys on the main roster do, where they come down for one set of tapings and then they're out?
Well, it's different because he's not on the main roster.
I know.
He wasn't even with the company.
I know.
So he's kind of walking on
He's a free agent.
uncharted territory.
Yeah.
No, definitely, because what we saw with the, they were calling them the American Pit Bulls, the American Wolves. Like, everybody went, oh, they're here. No, they were just in there for a week to get beat by the Ascension.
Well, they were on an extended tryout.
Let's not talk about it.
Oh, we're gonna get beat.
Now that they've tested, and of course, Blue Pants,
Yeah, that's
who we'll
what I
get
was
to,
gonna say.
we've seen people from other companies, so this is the natural way to go. I'm surprised they didn't start with something like this, where they bring in we saw it with Too Cool, but for one match. I think it is that. It's going to be, Rhino's going to be here for a taping or two. I mean, they had another one so close together, he could have stayed in town.
Yeah.
I think it's nothing but good to get those veterans who are still active and not necessarily past their prime to really work and hit the hammer home the WWE format and style.
A lot of the guys down there, I'm sure this is almost a dream for them to, I mean, not just Rhino, but if other people start doing this as well, those are their idols. Like, that's who they grew up watching. And to be in the same ring as them, not only learning from them, but
getting a chance to actually work with them is amazing. And though I wouldn't be surprised if Rhino, worked with some of those guys in different territories while he was moving around. But it's stuff that we don't hear about. And we already know from Regal's post NXT address about Rhino that next week the Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick, I mean, fans of wrestling know Spanky, him with tag team with Paul London, but, friend of the show, essentially.
He's sat on that couch before.
I've done a lot of training with him. He is one of the sharpest wrestling minds I've ever come across. Seriously.
So it will be even that's another thing where next week we'll have a marquee match that we can't see on the main roster, but it'll be unforgettable. And that's live event caliber, but we're getting it on a regular show. Amazing.
I think after, what has it been, over a year now, the network has finally evolved into something that we wanted it to be when it first started almost. I mean, like, it has that content that fans want that you can't get anywhere else, so you almost have to sign up for the network.
Arguably, it's intended purpose.
Yeah.
You're supposed to create original content that you can only see through the network, so people will buy the network. That's gotta be the idea.
I mean, it was sparse at first just because you did have most of the shows on television and you could get them elsewhere, regular television, and then now it really is like the go-to place.
Because some would say that the main brands are oversaturated with a lot of folks that people may or may not want to see. That notwithstanding,
it's not the roster.
No. It's not the roster. It's the way they're working the show. Blah blah. Whatever. We talk about it all the time.
And revenue.
Getting a chance to see your Titus O'Neills, your Fandangos, your whoever. Sorry, Fandango. There. On Superstars on Main Event, and then now with NXT is kind of what the hardcore fans want to see. A little more. They want to see the people that they don't see every week. Oh, I get to see Zack Ryder on Main Event? Oh, he might actually win.
You keep talking about Main Event like it's still on.
Well, I bring it up for two reasons. One, hopefully it comes back. And two, Bull Dempsey was at a taping and he found Fandango. And
yeah, he may have done even 2 matches. One on Main Event, the other, I don't know. All I saw was 2 different pictures of him. So I don't know.
So I was going to think that it was 2 matches.
How could you? This is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's a big deal in us, especially.
Yeah.
I've been like, whoa, Bull Dempsey's so good.
Did you think that he was going to be the next one to...
No, but that's great. Because you need guys to fill a certain niche and requirement, and they kind of have that in Rusev, but it's a different flavor sort of a thing. So with Bull, you getting a no nonsense dude that the people can kind of get behind, and you can get a smaller scale, unmovable object, unstoppable force sort of thing.
I love guys of that build.
Yeah,
that's wrestling to me. Those sizable gentlemen, they're built, they're well muscled, they can move.
You're attracted to in a wrestler.
Yeah. That's what I try to be. Put on weight. Beans and beer. Yep.
Yeah, that's been your thing this week. Beans and beer. Was it the comic?
And beer. Oh, well, that's part of it.
Moving right along to the Vaudevillains versus Enzo and Cass.
Yeah. What the hell is on Enzo's face?
He looked like Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
A little bit.
The Fu Manchu came through a little bit too clear on his bleached beard.
Yeah.
He is an experiment.
Into that sort of a thing, Kathy Kelly? Since we're talking...
You don't look like guys who look like him.
For iTunes listeners, you gotta go on YouTube for that look. That was amazing.
Yeah. I don't want to talk bad about him. I think he's a great guy.
But that unique style is Enzo, so I can't get mad at it. I'm like, oh, what are you doing now? Okay, now you're Enzo, though.
It's interesting.
Yeah, there is no style he will not try. He's kind of going for some sort of urban Viking right now.
You would think if Carmella was a hairstylist in the past, she could help him fix that.
She probably did it.
Probably payback.
Yo, I want this bleached. All right.
Probably just shot his face with
now I'm really not attracted to you.
No, it's like, ain't doing it for me, so that's why I'm doing it. It's going to the negative percentages.
Yeah. Let's talk about this match. Some unsportsmanly conduct from the Vaudevillains at the very top of the match. And then Enzo and Cass still end up winning. Carmella.
Camacho?
That's like how when you're saying something and you have caramel in your mouth and you can't talk. Carmella.
You wanna?
No, that's all right. We'll let that one go. No. We just let that one go. Were you gonna make a diabetes joke and go back to Kamala?
Well, yes, let's downgrade to the diabetes joke.
Please.
Downgrade to amputation.
Divert it.
You guys are 5 years
All the
old.
things we can't say.
4.5, but I'll count
Carmella
it.
comes into the ring to support the guys.
She's so fabulous.
She is not over. People do not like her.
No, that's the thing. It's so like she's working essentially as a heel,
Yeah.
but she's with a face faction. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It's confusing people.
Yeah. And then Blake and Murphy come on the screen to say Carmella should join them because they're the real champs.
And there's a little bit more character from Bam. Awesome.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see actually Enzo and Cass win.
I wasn't.
It's needed now.
I was hoping to see a bit more Enzo offense. The way that the Vaudevillains got like he tagged in and was super hot, but the way that they cheated to get him down made sense and worked. But at the same time, I'm tired of seeing Enzo getting thrown into people and winning. I know that's the gimmick, but I also, for his sake, I just want to see it. Just throw a punch and land, and it works. I want to see that. Everything else works. Just as a fan, I want to see him really hit somebody
They had
out of
that
anger.
sweet double team.
Yeah, it was, but he was
good.
thrown into him.
It was control.
Okay, all right. We did get a comment from Sparkplug Jr. I don't know if anybody remembers Cassius Ohno, the first
yeah.
KO.
Yeah.
He wanted us to bring up Cassius Ohno being let go for, quote, not getting in shape.
You don't know that. Nobody knows
that's the rumor.
that.
Cass looking a little bigger tonight. Maybe it was just...
I think everybody is. I think they may have switched the feed down at the farm.
That's what it seems like.
Even Adrian Neville's a little bit heavier. Everybody's putting on a little winter weight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotta stay warm down in Florida.
I don't know what's going on.
Cold in Florida.
They need to get their beach bodies back, clearly. They're not muscular enough.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
Bah.
They're all in much better shape than the average human being.
Yeah,
so.
me.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, me. Not him.
Not me.
Yeah.
I've been training. Everything hurts.
He's right.
Yep.
So,
I'm just listening to a conversation in the other room through this microphone. I do not
pretty
know what's
interesting.
picking that up.
do we know this new dude interviewer's name yet?
We did.
We did know it?
Somebody told us, and they still aren't really saying it on the television program.
Is it Doodley? Doodward? What's Dude short for?
Dudley.
Dud Speedley.
Dood Speedley. Yes.
Well,
Doug
he's
Speedley.
in the locker room interviewing Adrian Neville tonight. And Neville
Just
says
hang out in locker rooms, waiting to
What?
talk to guys.
he does kind of lurk there. He's a lurker.
He's a lurker. He really is. Like, hey, how you doing?
I just want to ask you a few questions. Okay, sure. Let me just turn this camera on and open this door. You can ask me whatever you'd like.
Thanks for waiting for me to put my trunks on before you
Let me just
started
stand
asking me any questions on the camera.
Let me just stand in this doorway, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. No, we have to close it for audio. Then see you around.
We need a witness. Who want a
Who's
witness?
that guy?
Let me tell my mother where I am first before you start.
I need to make a few calls. Boop, boop, boop. There's a man in my room with a microphone and a cameraman. I think the cameraman is a drone.
Thank goodness
Just a tripod.
there's no couch when he's doing these interviews.
So, Adrian Neville says that
boyfriend?
Kevin Owens will not forget what he's going to do to him tonight.
I hope not. I hope nobody forgets, because we're getting there.
Yeah.
It was interesting. He said he's happy to be a hunter. He's happy to have lost to Finn Balor because it puts him in a different situation, and I think that's a very interesting way to look at it. It's a way to turn a frown upside down, a negative and a positive, lemon to lemonade type of deal. That makes sense. It's different. Especially for the longest reigning champion. It's like, well, I don't have to be the champion right now. I don't have to worry about the championship right now. That's different.
Yeah, he can
pressure.
pick who he wants to target and improve himself that way instead of having to be on the defense. Yeah.
It's a smart way to look at it. Honestly, totally smart.
CJ Parker, back on NXT.
Yeah.
He comes out to the ring, says he hates NXT, and he is ending the show right now taking it hostage. He then caution tapes off the entire ring. But then...
Interference.
Solomon
The system
Crowe
is down, yo.
That's bad.
comes
Yo.
out, gives him a beatdown, and says, "Now we return to your rightly scheduled broadcast."
I like that Ricochet splash that he did, where he just kind of bounced himself off the
he's
ropes.
been doing
I
that
was
for
like,
years and
Yeah,
years. Yep. He really clocked CJ. I think he busted his mouth open.
Really?
I think I saw a spot of blood on his cheek, and CJ Parker is I said it on Twitter, he's a tomato can. That is a boxing term for a guy who cannot possibly win. Sad to see it.
I will say,
he also
though-
looks like he smells. Just gonna put that out
it's
there.
the gimmick.
As a guy who smells, I think he looks like he smells.
Again, be happier on that
Probably
side.
like
Takes one to know
kombucha.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kombucha.
yeah.
Kombucha?
No, kombucha.
I know, but how he pronounced it.
Kombucha.
It's the Hoboken accent. You can't recognize.
Yeah.
It's the Jersey. I'm
Smells
just
like
happy.
Mushroom water.
I'm just. Ugh. It's in my mouth.
She heard it.
I can just. I will say this though. CJ Parker didn't lose tonight. He just got beat up. So
He lost a little blood.
yeah, well, maybe a little self-respect, but he didn't lose any matches. But he probably will. When this becomes an actual match, he probably will. I want him to have a real feud so bad.
Do you think that they are going to have a feud, or do you think that this is just Solomon Crowe's
Debut.
debut and he is going to take on the roster one by one?
That's another. If he sticks with the technology thing and he shows up with the tablet, and all that stuff, even though he looked more like kind of like a punker tonight.
That was weird because I feel like, I know we haven't seen him on TV before, but his look prior to getting injured was a little bit different, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit more subdued.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're letting a guy kind of be how he is.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily hurt anything, but doesn't match the gimmick. If he comes out with like a spiky iPad case or something.
I don't think you guys are really looking at the bigger picture. He's an anarchist. He's dressed like an anarchist.
That's a better way of putting it. I like that. Okay. But using technology for his
Right.
stuff. So
Right.
if anything, they could probably find common ground.
Sort of. Yeah, you could see him trying to take down.
There could be a way to give them common ground. Either I just want to see CJ get a W. Damn it.
I don't know.
Not CW.
I wonder what though during his promo if he was just like if that was partly shoot.
Probably.
I'm sick of this place and I'm sick of all of you and I just want to tear it all down and run home and cry in my pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought what Solomon Crowe said on the mic was short and sweet, though.
It's all we needed to hear.
Great. Yeah.
And it made sense.
He looks crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he's
looks
still
nuts.
very mysterious, yet we do get a glimpse into what we can expect from him. So.
Another singlet guy.
Yeah, he's always rocking the high leg.
Yeah. He did look like he had a bleach or a duty stain on the back though.
No, that's controlled.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know it was, but it's just like, did it have to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
it did.
Speaking of Dookie, no, that's
No,
wrong. That's
I
a
was
bad.
actually really trying to find a transition for
No,
that,
we
and I
skipped-
couldn't
no, we
think
missed,
of it either. What?
We
What?
missed Bailey and Becky
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
right.
talking about it was a good match,
Yeah.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
All right, we did it.
Cool.
Actually, Lynch said that she wants Bailey, so we might see more of them in the future.
Yeah.
I like that.
That would help.
And I like
Lynch.
maintaining the professional relationship between her and Sasha, where it was like, well, if anybody would have won aside from me, I'm happy it wasn't Charlotte. So, still kind of in bad spirits and not necessarily tearing down Sasha, but
Keep your friends close.
business partners also close, and your enemies closer than that. But then a drink close in case you get thirsty. Make it soup, because in case you're hungry and thirsty at the same time, it's kind of like, well,
Okay.
broth jokes.
Cool.
I don't need a drink.
ABTV NXT.
If anyone is doing a drinking game, every time we go off the rails,
They're dead.
take a shot of
They're
water,
dead.
and every time we go off the rails, you'll be super dehydrated after. Or hydrated. What? This is a mess tonight.
No,
we
it's
are
not.
off
Are you
our
kidding?
chemistry.
Are you kidding?
I don't
this
even
is
know what's
every
going
week.
on.
This is part of the course. This is what people tune in to see. They don't want to see order. They want to see chaos. We're like the Solomon Crows of AfterBuzz.
And we're back.
So, old blue pants
Oh, blue pants. Blue pants.
versus the reigning WWE Women's Champion, Sasha Banks.
I was with Sasha on this one where it was like, what are you even doing here? I really want, I feel bad because I always forget her name. Oh, blue pants.
Leva Bates.
There you go, Leva Bates. I really want, she was a Rosebud on Monday. She was actually
Yeah.
the person who Paige stole the costume from.
They were in Florida on Monday.
Yeah. Mr. Ryan Smiley Katz was on Raw.
I looked for him. I couldn't see him, but I knew he was
Yeah,
there.
it's very quick. But they've brought her in so much as seemingly as a way to not put down any of the talent that they want to bring up. What? How have they not offered her a contract yet? She's
No, I
been
think
on TV almost more than Alexa Bliss.
I want to say that
think
she's
she's
on the
on there.
website. So
as old blue pants.
yes,
I think she's under contract.
yeah, I think now she might be.
I like the idea, but people are going to call her blue pants no matter what. So what I want is for her, essentially, I want the character to be buried so that she can be repackaged as herself. Because
I mean, she won against Carmella.
She'd have to come in under a hood. Just go by Blue Pants or Blue Pants Bates. That way you can put a name in
There you go.
She
and
can
then you
evolve,
transition it
yeah.
slowly.
exactly. But that's what I want. Because she's the lucky person, and we've seen her use some offense in some matches, but
Yeah.
it's been downgraded.
Her name could be Blue Ivy.
That is a terrible idea because someone already had. Yes, it is. You are correct. Just throwing it out there. She needs real music. She needs.
I liked her music tonight.
If it was
funny.
like, it's just because WWE
Da,
didn't
da,
want to
da, da.
pay for the damn actual Price is Right music.
I'm trying to figure out if somebody was actually singing that live or if that was a track.
I think that was Cassidy recorded.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that wasn't a live mic, that was like a studio, like just do it because it was, you can tell the difference between somebody saying something live and being excited because you're live, or just like, all right, we're doing take 2, just go ahead and whenever you're ready. Yeah? Yeah, see?
Yep.
Because I would like to see a match between these two that isn't,
A squash.
well, yeah.
She didn't look as sharp, even though granted she didn't have that much offense, but she didn't look like she was on point.
The crowd really likes her, though.
They do.
Sure.
They like them both.
Except for those who don't like Sasha, which there are some.
There's
There's a lot to not like. She's
people
working
like
really
her,
hard.
except for the people that don't like her.
What
AfterBuzz exclusive.
Am I wrong here?
No, you're wrong everywhere.
Damn it.
Yeah, so Sasha wins fairly quickly, and then gets on the mic and says, "Everyone needs to admit that I'm the baddest diva at NXT."
She works so hard to be disliked.
She did, and she deserves it.
Yeah. I'm sort of confused. So the audience goes, yeah! She doesn't like any of you. Stop cheering.
Yeah.
She wouldn't pee on you if you were on fire.
Hate us more. That's what he said.
Oh.
That's what I said. But I didn't say it like that. I said
did.
creepy.
So it's like a
Hate us more,
sad.
Sasha.
Well, no, I was going for more sad, tired Huell Hauser, but
It's
I don't think he was ever either of those things.
right.
I think he was always well rested and always extremely happy.
California jokes.
going back to last week, Rival, when Sasha won the title. I know that it's a huge accomplishment, obviously, one, just because the title is so new, but also because it is an accomplishment. I mean, NXT is touted like their women's division is...
Best in the world.
That's
Exactly.
Right. Women's division.
It's a women's division full of divas, though. They're
Stop. Just stop.
yeah.
When are, like, I get the hugging, I don't know. I just felt like.
But it was standoffish hugging. It was ha ha ha. I wouldn't do that. You know,
it was a hug and then it was a push.
Yeah. So it was for them and then for the crowd.
Yeah.
So they got both in.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Did you hear what the Bellas said about NXT recently at a convention? I don't blame. I don't see why anybody would want to move up. Because 20-minute matches, that's a dream. Like, we would love to have 20-minute matches, but
would they
nobody
love to have the
can
payroll,
get it.
though, at NXT?
I mean, probably not. But, I mean, that's the trade. But they understand and are jealous of the NXT division because it's weird that NXT is where you get the opportunity to really show what you can be.
Yeah.
And then you get the opportunity to show a national audience what you could be, and it's 3 minutes and everybody goes to the bathroom because that's it's
the same argument between indie movies are better than blockbusters most of the time.
I can give you that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, it's not,
The ones that go to Sundance are usually the ones that go to the Oscars, whereas the ones that are summer blockbusters aren't. I mean.
The ones that everybody really pays to see, like your Dark Knights, your Avengers, your Transformers, are the movies that everybody really watches and enjoys. But then the ones that have like a 200 theater rollout, with like the one that was just about Alzheimer's. That I forgot what it was called. Still Alice. Stop. That wasn't on purpose. That's terrible. Still Alice. Remarkable movie. Very sad. Did you just get it? Anyway, it's this amazing movie that's been nominated for actors and the writing and this, that, and the other thing, but it had a 2 theater rollout in the fall so that it could qualify for the Oscars, and now I think it's in 300 or 400 theaters nationwide, and it doesn't get a full rollout until after the Oscars, I think.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just like, well, but nobody saw it.
Yeah.
And Birdman too didn't get a wide release for weeks.
Whiplash, and then there's this new movie that just won Sundance this year, Meet Earl and the Dying Girl. There are just so many.
But here's my problem with this whole analogy. Who doesn't want to see a badass women's match?
Exactly. Like,
I did not want to watch a movie about Alzheimer's. That sounds like a freaking downer, but I want to see a badass women's match. Hey, I know about Alzheimer's. That's taken from a personal place, so don't get offended so quick.
He's right.
Yes.
I don't know what he's talking about. I forgot. So if we,
yeah.
I think we're running a long time. So
Yes,
we should at least get to the main event.
Yes.
Women deserve time.
They do.
They do. People should want to
100%.
see that, and it should be on the main.
We
main
wish we
thing.
had more time on our after show to talk about it.
Exactly.
But we don't.
I should subscribe to the Gimmick Pod.
Backstage, we already mentioned this, so we can breeze by it. No pun intended. Medical professional guy who talked about Sami Zayn.
Sweet gimmick, man.
CAT scan cleared. Once he's back
MPG.
from Abu Dhabi, he'll be able to compete again.
Why doesn't he wear a mask? He should have a mask with a red cross on it. White mask, red cross.
I agree.
Yes.
Main event.
I am obviously the doctor.
Neville versus Kevin Owens. What do you think?
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. We saw a lot of the same mind game offense that we did from Owens at TakeOver, and the 450 from the apron was just terrifying. So I couldn't imagine being in that front row. I'm just like, I'd be in the 4th row. Just. Oh my God! What a match!
That was one of those things where you just saw him measure and remeasure and remeasure,
Analyzing,
and go, no!
analyzing, execute.
He was kind of like a machine. They sort of allude to that in his entrance video. He's sort of like a machine. He really is.
Yeah. You happy with the ending?
That'd be enough.
Yeah.
It seemed too instant from what we saw from TakeOver, because TakeOver, it took a lot of power bombs to take out. Well, no, I mean, if you want to think about like Neville going super hard and being constantly moving and just being super energetic and just being 100% cut off just through power. Like,
these matches are really interesting. For the way that Owens is in control for the majority of the beginning of this match because he has both the power and the durability. So he's able to overpower his opponents very quickly, which puts him in the driver's seat with little to no effort on his part, at least seemingly. He's able to catch them off guard. But as the match goes on, you see him beginning to tire. He doesn't have the endurance factor, the conditioning, as it were, because he's a bigger guy. You have to take that thing into account. So he's working harder and harder to keep his opponents down and try and beat them, but eventually their conditioning outweighs his conditioning and he loses control of them, which gives them this ability to come back where he's just getting beat, but then his durability kicks in and you can't seem to beat him. Everything Neville was doing to him should have knocked him out tonight. It didn't work. He's really durable, and that power comes back.
Definitely.
That's a really good way of putting it. What did you think?
I thought this match was great. It was, I mean, last week was incredible, but this was the same caliber in my opinion. And I'm excited to see who Kevin Owens is going to face next.
Yeah. That's the idea.
I'm hoping it's Sami Zayn soon, just because I want to see that again, but...
If it's up to Kevin Owens, it's nobody.
But it's not. It's up to William Regal.
And he made that point very clear, so it'll be very interesting.
So really quickly, I mentioned there were a couple of news things. We mentioned the Bull Dempsey was on main event and looks like they're trying him out in front of bigger crowds, which is great.
Yeah.
But secondly, there's a rumor that Zara Schreiber might be paired with Baron Corbin just because she has tattoos too.
Yeah. I mean, if you think way back to when they were testing out Corbin's blinker, he had a female.
Shaw Guerrero.
Yes. But, she obviously left. So they were interested in pairing him with a female, and they may still be, and they may have found it.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. And then there's been rumors about an NXT presence at WrestleMania.
I hope that happens. I know that they have had that in the past, but...
If anything, and I heard the most sense being made was that it's not a main show. It's not a main show match, but it's a pre-show match, and that way it separates it from the rest. And I think that is the most possible.
Be happy with that. They work real hard, and
it'd be great to see him live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the conversation is not over. Please
never over.
Leave some comments on our YouTube. Tweet us. Let us know your thoughts on this episode and anything else wrestling related. Where can they find you, Mark Donka? You
can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. You can find me on YouTube at SoapboxMarkD. You can find the two of us at YouTube on... What is our show called? Soapbox Car TV. We're getting back into the swing of things real soon. We finally have supplies again. And we got games. We're doing a gimmick pod tonight. So if you follow on Twitter, I've been doing it tonight. That's where I was reading the comments from. The Gimmick Pod on Twitter. We're going to do a live broadcast similar to this. It's going to be audio only. You can take part. Follow us there. Hobo.
I'm at your Hobo. ProWrestlingTees.com/Hobo is the shirts thingy, and BoxCareSuperstar.com website.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly. You can find me on Instagram at Kathy Kelly. I have a new web series called ShowMG where we talk about what Jon Stewart should do now that he's leaving The Daily Show. He also just had
looks like he wants to fight Seth Rollins.
With Seth Rollins. What? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, you can find all of us here on Twitter and Instagram at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next Thursday.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.